Good morning everyone, and here this morning I'm out in the backyard, or as my family like to call our garden. So while waiting for Pete to come, let's do some ribbon twirling. Okay, so this morning's session we're going to look at poi. Now, poi is a New Zealand art of spinning an object that's attached to a piece of rope or something around in circles. So I'll give you a quick demonstration. Here are some sock poi. Okay, so you can spin them around in lots of different ways, and you can have lots of patterns going like that. So that's what sock poi are. So what you need to find for this session is the following. First of all, you need to find some over-the-knee socks. I've got a nice rainbow pair here. Put one there for a minute. And you need to find something like a bean bag, or maybe a small plastic bag filled with rice or lentils, something like that. Tie up the bag. And then pop the beanbag or whatever it is you're using to the end of the sock. And I'm going to do the same for this other one. Pop in the beanbag into the sock, throw it down, and now we have two relatively soft objects at the end of the poi. So this is very important when we're making our own poi, because when we're spinning these, you invariably hit yourself when you're practicing. If the object is hard, like an apple or a tennis ball or something like that, it's going to hurt a lot more when you hit yourself. So we want to reduce the chances of causing ourselves pain by putting something soft in. Okay, so something soft. Next thing we need to do is make sure that you have plenty of space. Now you may be wondering why I'm in the garden. Well, in my terraced house that I live in, there's not a huge amount of space for swinging something around, especially if you want to do full arm circles. So it's always best to make sure you have plenty of space around you. So let's test. So if you haven't got your socks yet, or your objects, pause the video and then go and get some, and then come back and restart it. Okay. Okay. So once we've got our poi, first test is to see if the poi length is too long for you. So if you spin it around big full circles, if it's hitting the ground, which mine isn't, but if it's hitting the ground like that, that means this is too long, and you can just simply wrap your finger around it like that and it'll become smaller. Okay, so very important not to have this too long so it hits the ground. Also make sure, because this is actually quite a long length when it's stretched out, make sure you've got room so you're not going to hit anything else, including other people that might be in the room. So you need a big space, and it's excellent to do it outside if you've got a yard or a garden or whatever. Okay, so make sure you've got plenty of space, because we don't want to have anything damaged by learning to poi. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is to get used to circles. So I'll stand back a bit further. So I'm going to do a big full circle in front of me. So if I stand sideways to you, you can see it's going in front of me. Okay? So that's one circle we can do. Of course we can go the other way as well. And then you can do small circles as well. So have a go at doing a small circle one way. So here, if I do a sideways profile, you'll see my arm is staying in one place, and my wrist is doing all the work to keep it going. It takes a little while getting used to it, okay? To swing into operation and get it going. And try going the other way if you want. want to aim for a nice speed. You don't want to be going like this because you'll get tired really quickly, okay? So just go for a nice slow speed. And another problem is if you go too fast, when you hit yourself, it hurts more. So there's some good advice. Keep it nice and slow, not too fast, but not too slow so it goes and it just doesn't get anywhere. Okay, so we've covered big circles and small circles. Now let's try it with the other hand. So let's do a small circle first with the other hand. And again, just like all juggling and circus related things, people will find that one arm dominates over the other. So I'm now using my left arm and I'm right-handed, so it doesn't feel quite so natural. That's quite normal, and sometimes you need to practice with your less dominant arm more. Okay, so let's do a full circle. Oh, nice to see you, Hannah, joining us this morning. See who else is there. Oh, nice to see you, Vanda and Beth. Okay, so it's big circles and small circles. So let's try doing two arms at once. So we're going to go the same direction, and we're going to do a big circle to start with. And let's try the other way. Again, you don't want to be going too fast or too slow. If you go too slow, things go horribly wrong. So just finding that nice rhythm, okay? And now we can have a go at doing small circles together. So going the same way, and you can do it with them further apart if you want, or closer together, okay? Or let's go the other way, small circles. Excellent. So now let's try some big circles going opposite way to each other. So if I just put them between our knees, we're going to be going like that. Okay, you might want to practice that. You might want to think when you're doing this, which way do my arms naturally want to cross? This way or that way? It doesn't really matter, but they're going to cross. Because they cross, it should mean we don't get any collisions. So let's try that. You can perhaps change which arm crosses which, so I'm changing each time. Okay, and of course we can do it the other way as well. Excellent. And we can do those as small circles as well. So let's do small circles. So they're going in opposite direction to each other now. Now, if we brought these together close, you'll get a tangle, okay? The way to avoid that is to have one hand slightly higher than the other. So I'm going to start with this hand slightly higher, okay? And then when I bring them in, you'll see that the poi do not collide. And this is called a butterfly. You can also do it behind you, reverse butterfly. Okay, but that's getting slightly advanced. Okay, so it takes a little while getting used to it because you've got two spinning objects. So you think, oh, they're going to crash, they're going to crash, they're going to crash. But if you keep one hand above the other, you can do it, and then you can get going quite fast if you want. I don't know if the camera can take that interaction properly. Okay, so have a go at that. Again, doing it nice and slow works better. We can do it the other way, so let's do it there. And again, we're going to have one higher than the other. And you can see that works quite nicely. So you have, when you're doing it, you'll find you'll get lots of collisions where you bash each other, you bash yourself and you get tangled. That is quite normal. So don't worry about it, it's just practice. Okay, so we've done lots of circles in front of us. Now what you can do is you can do circles at the side of you. So if I step sideways so you can see, okay, if I get both going at the same time. So this is called in sync spinning, okay? we can have them out of sync as well, one going first. So have a go at that. So one starts, and then you can start the other one when you're ready. Or you can get them both going at the same time, and then one arm can just give a little oomph to get it out of sync. You can do those side circles as large circles. So here we are. This is a lot more exercise for you. And one of the reasons we haven't done a warm-up today is because just teaching the first bits of poi is your warm-up. Gets you moving a lot, okay? And you can try going backwards as well. And you can do these together. Oh, and this is where you realise, as we did in some earlier exercises in one of the other sessions, that our bodies weren't really made to do this. So if you do it sort of swimming style like this, you'll find it a lot more comfortable. Again, you can do it backwards as well. And that's hard. And then you can do backstroke version, which is a lot easier. Good, so you can see all the things we could do at the front with the front circles, we can do at the side circles, okay? And there's another circle we can do, that's behind. So you can see if we spin in the front here, that's in front of me. If I spin it behind me, so if I look where it's going, often look over your shoulder, that helps it go back. So have a go at that. So you start this position, it's going to swing around, and then we're going to look over and turn slightly, so it goes behind us, and then we turn back to the front, turn. So it's dipping that shoulder each time. So have a go at that. And then you can try it with the other hand. So dip your shoulder, dip your shoulder, dip your shoulder. Let's pick up the other one. Okay, so once you've practiced that and getting used to that, we're actually drawing a figure of 8. If you imagine where the poi is going, it's drawing a figure of 8 in the air. Okay, and once you get used to it, you can not have to look where it's going or dip your shoulder so much. You can just do it normally because your arm knows it's got to go behind you. Okay, so those back circles are quite useful. I'll do a side view of that so you can see it. So front, and you can see the figure of 8 a bit better like that. Okay, so front, dip your shoulder, and then when you get used to it, you can just not have to dip it, and your arm does all the work. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. Once you get used to that, you can do both at the same time. So you're going to go forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. There is more chance that you get collisions like this, especially if you bring them in like that. But what makes it a more natural way of that pattern is to have when one's going at the front, the other's going at the back. So it will look like this. So they're taking it in turns, one to go forward, so left, forward, right, forward. Can you see that? I'll show you from sideways view. And you can see it's just a nice, gentle movement. It does take a little while getting used to this, doing this pattern. I know I'm making it look quite easy, but poi were one of the very first circus things I learned, so I've been doing it for quite a number of years now. Okay? So always start with that exercise first, get that really smooth, get it really smooth, both arms, and then you can go for putting it together. You can see if you can get it like that. You can, of course, do big circles with this. So you can do a big circle and try it with the other one. Again, by all means, look over your shoulder to help it see where it's going. So I'll show you sideways again. And then you can do then a big version of that, as well as just the standard normal one. And there's one other plane we haven't done. So remember, we've done front circles, we've done side circles, we've done behind circles. So those are all in the vertical plane that we've done. We now can put some horizontal plane ones. So here's a horizontal plane circle, and this is where if you've got your poi too long, this is when you're going to start hitting yourself. So it's always a good test to see whether you've got your poi too long, because the poi should not be able to hit you there. If it hits you there, then it's too long and you need to wrap it around your fingers. Okay, so you can go like that. So that's an under one. You can do an over one, so a bit like a helicopter. Okay, and you can alternate below, above, below, above. When you're doing this, you might notice me flinching slightly, thinking I'm going to whack yourself, because we're not used to seeing an object coming really close to us, and it makes us immediately pull back. So, but have a go at doing those over, under, over, under, over, under ones, okay? And the whole joy of poi that I find is that you put all these moves together to create your own sort of poi dance sense. Once you get used to all these things, you'll find that you can then you'll find yourself doing interesting things. For example, you don't have to stay on one side. So here I'm on one side, you can swap to the other side. And if you're doing two, you can weave each poi from one side to the other. So it looks like this. So you can see it then becomes a rather nice looking pattern. And the art of poi is just turning all these into a routine that you make up, and what have you. I like that one. So that's the art of poi. So get yourself some over-knee socks if you haven't got any. Buy some. You can normally get them for just a couple of pounds, and get something soft. Can be a bag of rice or whatever to put in the bottom. So I'll show you some other poi related things. So I mentioned with clubs, what we were doing earlier before, that I used to swing the clubs. So swing the clubs is where you don't let go and you're just swinging them around like that. So it's a really good exercise for the wrists, and you can do that weaving pattern that we're doing with the poi with the clubs. So you can have circles get in front and behind you, make them go high, and it's all the moves you learn for club swinging can be applied to poi swinging. So that's using clubs. Then you can do something similar with these. So these are homemade flags actually. So these have got the same end of the club, so you can hold it just like you would a club, and then you can do those things with flags. So if you really get into club swinging and poi swinging, then have a go at making something like these. I'll just quickly show you these. And I got the design from I think someone on the internet a while ago had a design, and I just adapted it. So here we have a piece of wooden doweling. Okay, we have a rubber end here that's screwed into the doweling. Here, if you can see, I've got, it's a piece of plastic conduit that you normally have electrical cables in. I've got a small piece that's about 1 centimetre long that's screwed in to that point. I've got a similar piece at the other end screwed in there, and then I've got a piece that just can freely rotate oops, can you see that? In the middle, which the flag is attached to with, I use Velcro pads, one that's on the actual piece of pipe. This means when you rotate this around, the flag can rotate freely. If you don't have that design, when you do a continuous going round in a circle, what you end up with is you end up wrapping up the flag like that, and that's not very good. So, but if you have something on a swivel thing, then it stays unravelled all the time, which is really nice. So that's a longer project. If you want a project of creating your own flag poi, then have a go at that. I've just explained what you need to do. Of course, you can choose your own nice equipment. And of course, if you've got lots of sock poi, lots of over-knee socks, you can make them in lots of different patterns. So these are my nice bumblebee ones. Quite like these. And of course, you can mix it up if you want to. So there we are, rainbow and thing together. So that looks a bit strangely. Oh, just whacked myself. So that is your introduction to poi. So have fun with it. Make sure you have a big space to do it in. So I don't want to have any accidents happening because of poi. And it's one of my favourite circus things to do at home. It can be done inside if you're careful and you've got a big enough space. So that's it for these sessions, because it's the end of term today, and I'll be taking the Easter holidays off from doing these. But if you have any challenges that you want to set me over these Easter holidays, then you can email me in, you can put comments in, you can tag me in posts, and I'll consider doing them, and I might do a few special sessions over the Easter holidays if there's lots of demand. So, and I think I will aim to restart again come the summer term, assuming we haven't gone back to normal with schools opening again. Okay, so it's been great having you here, and hope to see you at some point. Please do post your comments, tag pictures of you doing these arts. I'd love to see what you've got up to. Okay, bye.